Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's section. In today's session is all about one of the most crucial yet often overlooked aspects of working with data in Excel, data cleaning. Okay, so we are going to learn how to take messy, inconsistent data and transform it into clean, reliable data that you can actually use for analysis. Okay, so think of it like this. You wouldn't build a house on a shaky foundation, and you shouldn't base your decision on fraud data, right? So data cleaning is the foundation of sound data analysis. It is essential for anyone working with data in Excel. Okay, so in this session, we will learn how to take messy, inconsistent data and transform it into clean, reliable data that you can use for accurate analysis and informed decision making. Okay, so we will cover a range of techniques from simple spell checking to more advanced method for transforming text, date, and handling duplicate data. So by the end of this session, you will be equipped with the tools and techniques to make your data sparkle, to make your data shine. Okay, when we say you have a dirty data, then after you have done some of the things we're going to do today, you will be able to have a clean data. So right now, I want to open Excel before we start. Okay. The particular file we'll be working with. So give me a moment. Let me go to download. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, document. Okay. So let's wait for the Excel to open. So while we are waiting for the Excel to open, let me continue um with the explanation I was doing. So why clean data? Okay, so why is data cleaning so important? Yeah. Let's imagine you are trying to calculate the average sales for your company or for your product or whatever business you're into. Okay, you are actually selling a product. Okay, so you want to give me a moment. Let me delete this sheet. Yes. Okay. So excuse me. Let me see. All right. Okay. So this is the data we are going to be working with. I just want to make sure that I've opened it before we start so that it won't delay my time when we want to start hands-on practice. So like I was saying, why is data cleaning so important? Okay. So imagine you are trying to calculate the average sales for the company, if you're working with a company, or your sales or product you have sold so far. You want to calculate the average sales for that product. If your data has typos, like maybe you want to type a name of your product, maybe you sell footwears, okay, and maybe you want to under the product names you want to type the name of the brand, okay, for instance maybe Nike or Adidas, and you make a mistake on the spelling, that is a typo, okay, or you added extra spaces, unnecessary spaces, or you duplicate the data after entering maybe a customer that purchased an item for you, and the item they purchased for today, you mistakenly enter the information twice. It becomes a duplicate. Okay, so your average, trying to get the average of your sales or average sales for your company or product will be skewed. Like you can be misled. Understand? You'll be misled because the information is not true. Okay. Or let's say you want to filter your data to find all customers in a specific region. Maybe you have customers all over maybe the world or all over the country. Okay, but let's say in Nigeria, for instance, and you want to check you want to filter your data to find all customers in maybe in the south or in the southeast or any region you want to find. And maybe if you have this duplicate data, if your data isn't consistent, your filter might miss some customers. Okay, it will miss some customers because a typo means even if you want to type this word you are seeing here clean and you miss e, it is no longer clean. Even if you add a full stop into it, Excel will see it as another data, as another information. Okay, so your filter might miss some of this customer information because of little mistakes or adding extra. Even if you add space inside this, it is a different thing. It is no longer the same as what it was earlier. Understand? So I just want to show you what I mean. Okay, so excuse me. Okay, so Excel will treat it as a different customer, or the customers will not be your data will no longer be consistent. Okay, because your filter will treat it as or will entirely miss some of the crucial customers that you need to get their information. So inaccurate data leads to inaccurate conclusions, and that can lead to bad business decisions. Okay, so clean data on the other hand gives you confidence in your results. It ensures that your calculations are correct. Okay, it ensures that your calculations are correct and your filters work as expected. Okay, so and your analysis is also reliable. Okay, the reliability of your data cleaning ensures that the data is quality and what reliable. Okay, so you also clean data is the key to making informed decision. If the data is not cleaned, the decision will be, it will not be, it will be a misled, you will be misled. Understand? You will be making a wrong decision. Imagine you think that a profit you made in a month, maybe you think you made hundred of thousands of naira in a month. Meanwhile, probably you made 1 million or you made 10,000 and you thought it's 100,000. That kind of thing. You will be misled, and you won't be able to make what is called, because data analysis is all about making informed decision. Okay, so the next slide we'll talk about is spell checking. Okay, this is first thing you start doing when you want to clean a data. You can start with spell checking. All right, so let's start with a spell with a simple but crucial cleaning task. Spell checking. It is one of the cleaning techniques, understand, that you can use as a data analysis to clean your data. Okay, so just like in Microsoft Word, okay, Excel has a built-in spell checker to help you catch typos. Okay, so just like I explained earlier, when you have typos in your data, okay, how can you be able to even discover, okay, you made a mistake, maybe you wanted to type James and you type Jimmy, or you type even if the spelling might look correct to you, maybe, but probably James and maybe you type something James are not the same thing. Okay, so another thing is when in an English word that even Excel understand this is an English word, but because you mix an alphabet, okay, it become a typo. Okay, so just like I said in Microsoft Word, where you have how you can be able to check the spelling after typing the data, Excel also has a built-in spell checker to help you catch typos. Okay, so let's quickly go to Excel. Okay, so typos can easily slip through, or especially when you are working with large data set. Okay, so you can see maybe if these are a lot of data you are seeing here, but what if maybe we have some typos in it? Okay, you can see maybe let me see if I can maybe deliberately made a mistake maybe in one of the, maybe this Ableton or something, so that I can use the column to analyze, to do what I want us to do. Okay, let me just made a mistake in some of these data, so then I can show you how to. So imagine, for instance, Imagine maybe you made a mistake. You wanted to type Abet, but mistakenly type ABT or something like that. So this is not a typo, right? So how you can be able to use spell checking to correct this when you are working with a large, now we have a large data set. Okay, so I cannot be going one after the other. I cannot be, maybe if you I can also, maybe you made a mistake in one of them, but I cannot be going one after the other looking under this column where the reason why I have to use this column is because it contains the name of a city. Another one, it could be the name of a person. All right, so that's where I can check, okay, to see if maybe there is a mistake or something. I just want to show you how you can use spell check to correct a typos. Okay, so first you will select the data tab. Okay, after I selected the data, first you select the data you want to check the typos. For instance, let me use this column to check. Understand? You can decide to select the entire data. Understand? So then go to spell checker. Excel will show you where you made typos or mistake or something like that. So first thing is to select the data you want to check. For instance, I will use the city column. Okay, so it's a good idea to select only the relevant data to speed up the process. So for in my own case now, the relevant data to me is the city column, right? That I want to check. So instead of selecting the whole data, so I want to check and make sure maybe the analysis I want to perform now is I just want to check, okay, the my customers that are living in, I want to know the cities where our customers live. Understand? So this is now a relevant data for me. All of out of all of in the info, everything, the data we have here, this column is relevant data. Maybe I want to find the name and the city, yeah, the name of our customer and the city where they live. So you will select the relevant data. But for now, let me use the city because I just made a typo mistake here so that we can see, or maybe let me just make it to be more than once. So you can okay. So let's say we have up to two typos, because when I will explain, you can also see how you can change the corrections that you made. Okay. So I have selected the data that I want to work with. Okay. So now I'll go to the review tab. You go to the review tab. Then if you go to review tab, you will see so many of the things that you have on the ribbon. Remember what I told you, these are the ribbon. Okay, these are the ribbon, then these are the tabs. This space is called ribbon, then these are the tabs in your ribbon. Now on the review tab, you can locate spelling. Just locate this parent ribbon under proofing. Okay, under proofing, you can find it even if it's not in the same location in your own version of Excel. You go to review. After selecting the data I want to use, the first thing I did is to go to review tab, then find spelling under proofing. So if I click on this pairing now, okay, Excel will start scanning. Okay, it will scan, it starts scanning this selected data, on this case the city column that I selected. Okay, if it finds a potential error, it will show you a dialog box just like you can see on my screen with suggestions. Okay, so you can see there are even other mistakes in the name. Understand? There are still many. Okay, even Excel saw Abetu as a, let me go back and see what the option we have there. So we have Abetu, which is might be correct. Understand? Or which might even be a wrong spelling. Understand? Because I'm not familiar with the name of these cities, and I even intentionally made a mistake there. But let's see what Excel suggested for us, because Excel definitely knows about locations in the countries. So let's say maybe it's actually Abete or Abeto or something like that, that is the correct answer. So what Excel does here is to suggest. Okay, you can choose the correct spelling from this suggestion. Let's say this is a city I'm familiar with, and maybe this is um the correct spelling. For instance, let me just use it, or let me not tamper with this data. Let me just copy this data so that you can have, let me just copy this data. Remember how I told you can be able to um copy your data. So you create a copy. So it create a copy for me. So let me be working with this copy. Understand? So that I will not tamper with the original one. Okay. So that you can also perform other cleaning, or if I just want to leave it maybe for future use. Okay. So after I selected the data, I then go to the review tab and click on the spelling. Then the dialog box that will appear suggesting maybe probably the mistake. So on this case, like I said, maybe this is the correct spelling. Okay, in the dialog box, I have selected the one I think is the correct one. So what I will now do, I will either click on change. If I click on change, it will only change one out of all of these selected um um all out of this column. Okay, if I maybe it's only one aperture that we have, so if I click on change, it will change it for me. But since we have more than one aperture on that column that I selected, okay, to correct the spelling, I will need to click on change all. So if I click on this change all, it will change any instance where I entered aperture, which might be the wrong spelling. It will change it for me. On this case, I click all. Another mistake they saw made there is the, okay, remember the one I intentionally added, which is I was supposed to add it was supposed to be that aperture, but I'm the one that removed the E. Now Excel is telling me probably I have made it's another mistake, maybe it's airport, but I want to disregard this, or I might as well assume, okay, this is a different city, okay, since I made that mistake as myself intentionally. But now you can see Excel treat it as a different thing from my aperture. You see the reason why what I was trying to explain to you about data cleaning. Typos can make Excel to treat something as a different information. Initially, it was happy to, but let's say I was typing and I skipped E, and now Excel saw it as a different information and even suggesting something. Maybe I'm trying to type to or whatever and all that. So let's say this is a correct location for me. Okay, you can go to add dictionary. Okay, you can go to add dictionary and add it. Okay, Excel will understand. Okay, this is a correct word for you. Maybe it is a location in maybe in a location where Excel don't understand their language and all of that. So you can actually add it the word to dictionary so that Excel will no longer treat it as a wrong spelling. Okay. Then another thing you can do there, you can also click on ignore. So I can decide to click on ignore once to ignore that particular selected data on the inside that column that I selected where I made that mistake. Or I can click on ignore all. It will ignore all of them. Because if I click on this ignore once, if Excel find this to in anywhere in the column again, it will select it again and suggest for me. So I can click on ignore all. For in this instance, let me click on ignore all. Excel will ignore everything. Okay, it will ignore. Then it also find another location for me, but it has no suggestion. So that means it is maybe let's say it is a correct location. I can now decide to maybe add it to dictionary. I don't want to add it to dictionary, but I'm just showing you. You can actually click add to dictionary, so Excel will understand that okay, this is um a dictionary. Okay, so this is a quick and easy way to catch those typos by going to spelling. So if you are working in Nigeria, definitely you will be working with related data that you are related with. If you see Anambra, you know it's Anambra. So if there is a typo, you know, okay, it's a typo. Even if Excel didn't suggest Anambra for you, you can actually make the correction by yourself. And now maybe you can make the correction by yourself here and now add it to dictionary. Okay, that is how you can do that. So this is a quick and easy way to catch those little typo that can throw off your analysis. Okay, when once you are through, you can close the dialog. Okay, so spell check complete. You are good to go. That's it. So let me remember let me undo. Okay, let me just undo. So escape. Okay. So let's assume this let me just put the word back. Okay. So where I intentionally deleted the um alphabet E from it. So you can see how you can actually correct spelling. You can do that in every other columns and all that. You can select, remember, the relevant data is what that matters. You can have thousands of rows and hundreds of columns, but decision you want to make could be only two columns out of that data. Maybe you want to visualize the data. You just select the column, maybe this column, and maybe you have the amount where maybe product, how much the product is being sold and all that, or how much a customer spend in a month. You just select those columns, then go and correct the spelling before you actually start visualization. Because if you don't do this cleaning, you have a message. There is the word that said garbage in, garbage out. So if you give yourself garbage, it will also throw garbage out for you. So I hope you understand my explanation about spelling, how you can be able to check your spelling and correct it. Before we move to the next slide, I want to make sure you capture what I explained. If you do not understand, you can ask me a question, then I will repeat before we move on.
I understand what you're saying.
Uh, all right, no problem. So, okay, all right. So, I just wanted to check something. All right. So before let's go back to um, our slide. Then the next thing we want to talk is removing empty rows. Removing empty rows. How you can remove empty rows? Because empty rows is also a part of what that makes your data to be very, very messy. In fact, it is even the works, understand, because it could interfere with the formula. When you are writing a formula, it could interfere with visualization, because once Excel encounter empty rows, that is where it stop. It cannot jump those empty rows to enter into another um um rows. Empty rows is different from empty cell. Understand? When I say empty rows, the rows are entirely empty, different from empty cell. Understand? So that you will not, when you encounter empty cell, it's different. When we go to the Excel, back to the Excel, I will show you what I'm talking about. So empty rows can be a real headache. Understand? For you as a data analyst. Okay, they can break up your data, interfere with your formulas, and cause problem with sorting and filtering. Almost everything, even during visualization, because you have to perform these sortings, filtering, and even writing formulas to get, maybe you want to just work with the average, you just want to work with the total, you just want to work with um, maybe the mean or median or whatever before you start visualization. And having these empty rows can interfere with your work entirely. Whether it's formula, we have taught formulas in our last class, it could interfere it could cause problem with sorting and filtering. Understand? It could cause a big problem for you while doing that. Okay, we are going to discuss sorting and filtering in this class. Okay, so let me show you. Let's go to Excel that you understand what I'm saying. Now, if I scroll down towards this data, you can see where we have encountered empty rows. Okay, so how can we deal with these empty rows when you have it? Are you going to, maybe you have thousand, maybe there are other empty rows that you might not even see. Understand? If you have in a situation whereby you have thousands of rows and hundreds of columns, are you going to be start deleting it one? You click here, you delete, you click here, you delete, you click here. No, it is not productive for you to do that. Though you can do it, it will delete, but it's not a productive or efficient way to do it, or an effective way to do that. Okay, so imagine trying to analyze sales data with empty rows. You want to analyze sales data that contains maybe the source of your product and there are empty rows. Okay, it will, as in these empty rows will scatter your work, because as it is scattered through your data, so it will also scatter your work for you. It will be a nightmare for you. Understand? Just this empty rows I encountered here. If I want to analyze any of this data here, I can be misled, because once Excel get to this place, it will stop. It will treat it as that is where the data ends. It will not jump it. Okay, so it will be a nightmare for me. And if I don't know what to do about it or how to get through with this, it will it will move from nightmare to headache for me. So removing empty rows makes your data more compact and easier to work with. Okay. So first you will select, let's go back to um the Excel. Okay. So, oh goodness. Okay, thank you. So remember how I told you you can, what is this? Okay. Okay, thank you. This is occupying my space. So remember how I told you you can be able to select the whole data. Understand? Remember, I want to select, it's either I click here to select the whole data, or from here I can click Control Shift End. Control Shift End. If I click Control Shift End, it will select the whole data for me. Understand? That is how you can be able to select the whole data. So let me quickly use this the one on the on this triangle you can see here. Okay. So I just want to make sure I remind you, either you use this triangle on the top left here, or you use the Control plus Shift plus End. Control plus Shift plus End. You will select the entire data, or this arrow, this triangle on the top left corner. Okay. So now I have my all data selected. Then I will go to the data tab. Okay. So if I go to the data tab, I will click on filter. Okay, you can find filter on the sort and filter button here. So if I click on filter, now you will see a filter arrows appear. Understand, in every order. You can see this is our filter arrows. These are filter arrows appears next to my column headers. Okay, so if I click on the filter arrow, let me use this for instance. If I click on the filter arrow in any of the column, I'm using the customer name column. Then I will uncheck select all. That's the first thing you do. So since we have blanks, these empty rows are called blanks. Okay, this empty row. Remember, before I do that, I just remember what I said when I come to Excel. I'll explain to you. Okay, I just showed you these are empty rows, right? Okay, so what about, let me see, what about these ones? These are empty cells. Okay, they are empty cells. Okay, they are not the same and cannot be treated as empty rows because they are actually data here. Maybe the customer, these empty cells are also trouble. You can, if you are trying to analyze data, you might, okay, if you see that, okay, maybe the customer have entered one information for this account here. Maybe the customer, let me for instance say you use DF, maybe DF, and I now skip every other thing here. So with my common sense, I should know that okay, it should be DF, DF. If maybe the customer feel like okay, it can now move to another column and start typing. These are common errors that can happen. So you can fill it up by yourself, but that's not what I want to do right now. So let's go back to how you can be able to filter to remove empty rows. So remember, if you select the entire data, you go to the data tab, then go to filter, click on filter. Okay, I just I've selected it before. Then you go to the filter drop down arrow. Okay, that is on your on the column headers. Okay, that you can see. You can select any of the these drop down arrows or filter arrows. We call it not just drop down arrow, they are filter arrows that appears to the next to your columns header. So if I click on it, then the first thing I need to do is to click on the select all, because this select all check means you are selecting all the information, understand, in this particular column. Understand, you are selecting all the names, customer names. So I don't want to select everything because I just wanted to filter a specific um information. On this case, we are looking for blanks, empty rows. So I will click on the select all so that it will unselect everything. Then I will scroll down. Okay, if you scroll down, you will find blanks. Then click on blanks. Okay, these blanks um are the empty rows. Okay, blank, something where there are blanks, there is no data inside it. So if you click on blank, if you select the blanks, then click on OK. Okay, Excel will show you these rows that are empty. Okay, now only the rows with empty cells in that column will be visible. Okay, the rows with empty cell. You can see them here. These are those rows that we are empty. That is the only one that is selected. If you look at the numbers, you see why you'll be able to know, okay, actually they are the empty rows. They has been selected. Okay. Now, these rows that have been selected by Excel that are visible for you, understand, you can select these rows by clicking on the first row. If you click on the first empty row, then you hold your control shift, okay, then and press the down arrow on your keyboard. You select control plus shift, then the down arrow, okay, to select the entire empty rows. Okay, you by doing this, you will be able to eradicate the empty rows. So after I have selected, I've used control plus shift and then pressing the down arrow, then I'll right click on it. Now when after that right clicking on it, you find delete row, understand. This delete row, if I click on it, it has deleted those empty row. Okay, show you delete entire sheet row. Okay, it has deleted it for me. Okay, those empty rows. Okay, now once I have deleted these empty rows, I can go back to the filter. Okay, there are two ways I can do this. It's either I click select all to show me all the data again, or clear filter. But in this case, let me just click select all and press OK. Now, if I go down, you can see that those empty rows has been removed. Okay, you can see that those empty rows has been removed. They are no longer there, right? And remember, I told you another way you can be able to get back is either you click on select all or clear filter. Once you have cleared the filter, if you go here, you see the clear filter will be highlighted after you perform the filter. You can click on it to clear the filter to show you the clean data that you have, or click on the select all. Okay. So that's how you can be able to remove empty rows. So once you have performed this and click on the select all and the clear filter to get back to your data, you will see your complete data again, just like we are seeing here. Now your data is nice and compact, okay, without those annoying empty rows that could hinder your work. Understand? So I hope you understand the what I just discussed about how you can remove empty rows. Do you have any question there?
I'm not seeing. Didn't you see the message that I sent on this thing? I sent you a message that I typed. Did you pin this chat too? Because I'm not seeing what you are doing since.
Seriously, you would have
Don't
thought.
get.
If you're
I've
not
told.
if you say something,
I send you the message.
I cannot be checking WhatsApp while I'm on class.
No, it's not on WhatsApp. It's on this our wall.
I'm
He
not
call
even
me
on
say,
Zoom. I'm on Excel. So I wouldn't even know left a message. All you have to do is
okay.
to say something. Okay? Once it's a
I
situation
just don't
whereby
want
you are
to.
not
I
seeing
thought you
what I'm
on
doing,
this.
it could be your own network, it could be network phone, because you are not seeing my screen again, right? What you are saying is that you are not seeing my screen. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I'm seeing the screen, but it's been ahead. Now you changed it. So it just changed now.
So now I've changed it. So if I move to my Excel, you are not seeing
Yes.
it.
You pinned
Are you seeing
the
my
chat
Excel right
too.
now?
The one you downloaded. You said you were going to. Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you see my Excel? Hello?
Now? Yes, I can see your Excel now.
Or maybe it could be network from your own end. And
Are
the
you sure?
moment you couldn't see what I'm doing, you can interrupt me. Understand? And you can
Okay.
interrupt me. I'll
Okay.
stop. I'll make sure you are seeing what I'm doing, because if you're not seeing it, it's like I'm talking to myself.
Okay.
Understand? So, I don't know where I was before you stopped seeing my screen. Did you
Just
get?
where I was when.
Okay, maybe I will explain how you can remove empty rows again.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, I've okay. Let me just undo, okay, undo so that we can get back to the okay. Yeah. So let me just undo. So I was talking about empty rows and how it can be a real headache for you or nightmare for you as a data analyst. Okay, because they can break up your data, they can interfere with your formulas and cause problems with sorting and filtering. Okay, or whatever, even if when you performing a visualization, data visualization and all that. Okay, it can break your data. So as you can see, we encountered empty rows in this data. Okay, maybe let's say this is our company data. These empty rows you see here can break your data. Once a cell get to this place, it stops. Meanwhile, there are still informations here. And that means if I'm not careful, that means I'll be misled because I will not get all the information I need. Understand? So this data might look good in your eyes, but they are very dirty because first we have collected misspelling, how you can use a spell check to correct some of the misspelling you have in in the data. Another thing is now the empty rows. And I told you that these empty rows are different from empty cell. Okay, you can call this empty cells or empty rows. Okay, but when in a
Okay.
situation whereby you have an empty cell, maybe you need to fill it up by yourself, or maybe you need to get to the data entry specialist in the company or where you get that data from, and you can. That's why I said data analyst. You can ask questions to make sure you understand the data you are working with. So now we want to want to eradicate these rows. Okay, so how can you these empty rows that could be a problem for a headache for us or a nightmare? Okay, you are not going to start deleting them one after the other. What if you have up to 100 of them? Are you going to be doing that one? Though you can delete it, but it won't be productive or efficient way to do that. So to delete let me also undo because I think I'm still on the second stage. So I want to make sure I start afresh. So first you have to select all your data before removing, because if I select only one column, these rows affected all the data. And I told you, you remember how you can be able to select all your data. You can use triangle, you can use the keyboard shortcut control shift end. If I say control shift end, if I select, maybe I select here and I say control shift end, it will select the entire data for me. Or I can use this triangle at the left top corner of um the worksheet to select the entire data. Okay, now after I've selected the entire data, I will now go to the data tab. Okay, I'll go to the data tab, then go to sort and filter ribbon, then select filter. Okay, when I have selected the filter, okay, you will see that the filter arrows appeared in the to my column headers. These are filter arrows. Okay, they appeared. Okay, so I will now click on the filter arrow in any of the column. For instance, it can be any of the column, understand, because you selected the entire data. So I have selected this particular filter arrow. Then the next thing I will do is to check this select this uncheck the select all. Okay, so after unchecking the select all, the next thing I'll do is to scroll down and look for blanks, because we are actually looking for where we have empty data, empty rows. So if I select these blanks and I click OK, okay, Excel will now show me all the blanks rows that I have in my data. As you can see, these are the blank rows starting from 71, row 71 to 75. So how can I delete these empty rows? Okay, how can I delete them? Now, since these empty rows are visible to me, I can now select them. Okay, I can select this row by clicking on the first empty row. This is the first empty row. Then I'll use the keyboard shortcut. I can actually drag, but because I want to make sure I select all the empty rows, and maybe if I have many empty rows, use the keyboard shortcut Control plus Shift plus the down arrow on your keyboard. It will select all the empty rows. Okay, then I will right click on that selected empty rows and click on delete row. Okay. Now Excel will pop up, show me information that I want to delete entire sheet row, and I'll say okay. Okay. Then after I've done this, once I've deleted the empty rows, I can go back to the filter, um, the filter drop down that is on the column. Then I can either use clear filter, understand, or I can select all again. I will check the select all again so that it will select all the data for me, and boom, all the data is back. Then if I check now, you see that all those empty rows has been deleted, and the cell adjusted the data. Those ones that we are behind after those empty rows now come up to make the data to be filled up for me without encountering any empty rows. Okay. So you see my data is nice and compact again without those empty rows. Okay. So removing duplicate data. Okay. There are two methods you can be able to remove duplicate. So first of all, we will first discuss the method one. Okay. So duplicate data can skew your analysis and give you a false impression of your data. Okay. Let's say you have a list of customers and some customers are listed twice. Okay, it becomes a duplicate. So this can inflate your customer count. If you want to count how many customers you have, when you have entered the customer twice, it can inflate the your customer count and lead to inaccurate report. Meanwhile, maybe you have five customers, but because you maybe repeated all the customers twice, you are reporting 10. Okay, so we will use two methods to remove duplicates. Okay. The first method involves previewing the duplicate before deleting them, okay, giving you more control, and that is what we are going to do that. So to do this, let me go back to myself. So please confirm if you can see my spreadsheet.
Yeah. Removing duplicate data method one.
Can you see my Excel right now?
Mm,
Can you see my screen?
no. I can see your screen, but the sheet, I haven't seen the Excel sheet. The what is showing is just the training, comprehensive training, removing duplicate data
I
method
think
one.
it's network that is lagging because I've just left. It's still showing the PowerPoints for you, right?
Yes, it's still showing the
I've
PowerPoint.
left. Okay. Now let me go back to Excel. Are you seeing my Excel now? I think it's network, so the thing is lagging.
It's network. Yes. It's lagging
Yeah.
so much. That's what I say. Yeah, it's lagging. I haven't even seen the Excel till now. That's why I told you that it's writing that your network is this thing.
Hmm.
That's why
Okay.
I said that the other time, before you show something, you will talk like 10 minutes before what you said in the last first minute will appear.
Oh goodness. Give me a moment.
It's network. There is no way we can do it.
It's network.
Unless you just, mm,
Okay.
no, it's network. It don't used to happen this way now. So maybe you
Okay.
can do
It's
the
network.
video, then edit and send it to the
Okay.
drive or YouTube so I can watch it, so that we cannot just be waiting for network and your time will be going and you see it's still writing this video was due to network, blah, blah, blah.
All right. Let me start demonstrating. So I was talking about how you can use how you can be able to remove duplicate data. So there are two methods to do that. So we'll start with the first method, okay, which involves previewing the duplicate before deleting them. Okay, this gives you more control, understand, or what you can be able to remove and what you won't remove. So to do this, you select the column you want to check for duplicate. Okay, it's important to choose a column where duplicates are likely to be errors. Okay, so not legitimate repetitions. Being legitimate repetitions means that it is not a duplicate. Okay, it is not a duplicate. Maybe a customer that you are seeing this information repeatedly here does not mean that it's a duplicate. Probably maybe the customer repeated, he bought items and come back and bought another item, different products. So we need to make an account of that because one customer buying many product for us, we need to record it as just like when you go to your website before you check out, whatever you buy will be stored on the database. So it's going to be treated as a different information. Understand? So example of where you can check duplicate names is, for instance, product names, okay, might be repeated. The product names might be repeated, or customers ID might also be repeated. But in this case, let me see in this data if we have anything like product name. Let's say product name. We have product name here. Okay, okay. Let me see if we can use, because if you use the customer name, it will show that you have a lot of. Okay, let me use customer ID. Let me go to customer ID. What can I find? First of all, let me enlarge the columns so that so I can be able to see what I have fast and clear for me. Okay, so let me, for instance, now I'll use the customer ID. Understand? Though the thing is that you may also have, or let me use order ID. Okay, let me use order ID because order ID can change. Understand? Order ID for one order cannot be the same for other order. So let me use order ID to explain. Okay, so to do this now, you have to select, like I said, you have to select the data that you want to check duplicate. So in this case, let me use order ID to check for the duplicate. Then I will now go to the home tab. Then if I go to the home tab, then I will click on conditional formatting. This is conditional formatting. If I click on conditional formatting, then I will select highlight cells, highlight cell rules. Then I'll come down to duplicate values. Okay. Then I will choose a formatting style like highlighting the duplicate in red. Okay. So here I can decide, okay, if I want to highlight the duplicate values, maybe right red field, dark background, or I can decide to choose other options. Or, but for instance, let me go with okay, the white red with dark red text. Okay, so now all, if I now click OK, okay, if I scroll down, if there are duplicates, you can see all the duplicate. Let me go back to home, then conditional formatting. If I actually select the color that I want, okay, light red fill with dark red text. Okay, so okay, so if you go down, okay, thank you. You can see these are the duplicate um what is it called, duplicate customer IDs, I mean other IDs that we have. And they say if you scroll down, you see them, all the duplicates. Understand where this duplicate appears. Okay, now you can carefully review the highlighted rows, just like you can carefully review the highlighted rows. Okay, you will make sure that actually they are actually duplicates. Okay, now your job is to scroll through the data and examine the duplicates. Okay, so you can decide which rows to delete. So or if I want to delete this row, then I will have to, maybe I want to delete this row now, I'll have to select it, then I'll right click and then I'll say delete. Okay, if I right click on it, I will say delete. It will delete the row for me. Okay, so if I, or not just like this. Let me show you an effective way to do that. So as you can see, you can be able, instead of, if I want to delete all these rows together, I don't have to. What I have to is from here, not from here that will select the rows you want to delete. So what you have to do is to come here. You can see the row 50. It started from row 51. I mean to say, if you select it, understand, then you drag down. Okay, you drag down, then you can hold your control key, then look for the other row. I want to delete all these rows. Okay, so I can decide to select, then and drag down, then you do keep doing it like that. Okay, now I have the rows that I want to delete. Then I will now click on right click, then you select delete. Okay, if I delete, it will delete all these rows for me. Okay, if I click on delete, or in another option you can see when you right click is delete rows. You can see delete rows and all of that, then you can be able to delete after selecting. Okay, so let me right click, then delete. Okay, What's happening? Did I select in particular? Let me try this again. You select the rows. Those ones, okay, the first one, I think the first one deleted. Okay, let me now delete this one as well. And you delete. And these rows are gone. Okay, those places where you have empty rows, they are gone. Understand? So but you won't be able to have repeated data that might mislead your analysis and all that. So we just deleted the repeated order IDs where we have repeated order IDs. We have been able to remove them. Okay, so this is how you can use the preview, understand, to remove um duplicate data. This is the method one to do this. Okay, then the second method to do this, removing the duplicate value using the second method, okay, which is identifying and removing direct method to remove duplicate without using the preview version that we mentioned. Okay, this is faster but less cautious. Okay, remember the first one, we are cautious of rows that we want to delete, but this one is much faster but less cautious. So it's great when you are confident in your data and you want a quick solution, or you don't have time to go through the format data that we where you go to format cell, then remove duplicate and all that. So to do this, you will select your entire data set. Let's go back to so, I'll select my entire data set, then I'll go to my data tab. Okay, if you go to data tab, then you will find remove, okay, remove duplicates. Then these are the remove duplicates under the data tools ribbon. Okay, so if I click on remove duplicates, Excel will bring out this dialog box, okay, that this dialog box that will appear here. You can find or you can choose which column to check for duplicate. Okay, if you want to check the whole column or you want to check a particular column, okay, that you want to remove duplicate. Remember the importance of selecting the right columns. Okay, so when you have selected the right columns, maybe I want to check the whole columns on my own case, understand, and after I've selected, or maybe I just want to, just like we did for the um, custom ID, maybe that's the one you want to select. So you will have to uncheck every other one and only check a particular column. But let me just leave it for this or selecting, or then I'll click OK and see myself automatically removes 9 duplicate value found and okay, 9 duplicate values found and removed. Okay, now we have 195 unique values that remains. Every other duplicate has been removed. Okay, so by this method, Excel does that automatically for you. Okay, it has Excel remove the duplicate rows without you going through, just like the first method that we do. So this method is quicker, but it's important to be careful because as it does, I don't know where these rows are. I don't know if actually the rows it removes is what I want it to remove and all that. Probably maybe Excel misunderstood the data and thought it's a duplicate, but me, I wouldn't count it as a duplicate. So you only use this method when you trust the data you are working with. Okay, when you trust it and you understand the data. Okay, so the next thing we'll have to discuss is transforming test case. Transforming test case. Okay, so let me go back to PowerPoint. So transforming okay, I think this, where do I have transforming test case? I think we have to discuss that before. I didn't add it on the on the slide. Let me check if it's available here. Give me a moment. Or let me just start explaining without the slide. Okay, the slide is not that necessary. What is necessary is seeing how it's being done. So transforming transforming test case in a situation whereby, okay, let me, that's why I created this cheat for this purpose. I just created this just now. So I will want to transform the test case, maybe the full name, as you can see there in small letter in the lowercase. Understand? So sometimes your text data might not be in the case you need it. For example, you might want all your product names to be in uppercase or proper case. Okay, so Excel has functions to help with this. Okay, you have the upper function, you have the lower function, you have the proper function. The upper function convert text to uppercase. The lower function convert text to lowercase, and the proper function convert text to proper case. Okay, so what the proper function does is it capitalize the first letter of each word. Okay, just like this full name here is in a proper format. It capitalize the first letter of each word. So now let's say we want to convert a column with people's name, okay, to uppercase. So to do this, I will insert a new column next to the name column that I want to change the format. Okay, so to do this now, okay, I will select this column that is next to it, then I will right click, then click on insert. Okay, I will add a new column. Okay, so I have inserted a new column next to the name column. Then in the first cell of the new column, I will type equal to upper. This is a function, right? Then I will select, no, not here. This is not the first cell. I'm going to rename here. Maybe I will call it full name again. Full name. Sorry. Let me just call it full name again because I'm going to use it. So this is the first cell that I want to do. So I'll start with equal to, then upper. This is a function. Then I will now select the particular um, row that I want to convert to uppercase. And if I press enter, you can see it has converted John Doe from lowercase to uppercase. And what if I want to make it proper case instead? Okay, proper. So I will use proper. Okay, automatically I'll use proper. Now, if I click enter, it has been formatted for me in a proper case instead of the lower case that it was originally, the data originally comes with. So I will now remember the fill handle. If I use the fill handle, it will fill this for me. So what I will now do is I will now copy, understand, I will now copy the column, this very column that I created by using the Control C. Then I will now go to the column I want to paste it. Understand this? Then I'll right click, then go to paste. I'll use paste value. Okay. The reason why I want to use paste value, I wouldn't want to transfer the formula. I wouldn't want it to retain the function that we write there, just the value that we need. Okay. So I have done that. Then I can now delete this column. I don't need it anymore. Okay. So after converting it, I will now delete the column to how I want it because I don't need it anymore. Okay, you can see I've been able to convert the text from small letter to from a lower case to proper case. Okay, so and you can see how I use the paste value, okay, to paste to copy and paste them the data that I just transformed. Okay, paste it in the column I want it to be, then delete the unwanted column. Okay, so another thing I want us to discuss is the date format. Date format. So date format can also be inconsistent. Okay, you can change date format using the number format dialog. So let's go back to the data we have here and let's find the date column. Okay, order date. Okay, let's use the order date for instance. Okay, we have order date on we also have order posted date. Okay, so this date we want to transform this date. Okay, so we have order date, we have order um posted date, and you can see the format this date are. This doesn't look like a date, right? It doesn't look like a date. So you can change the date format using the number format dialog box. Okay, so here I will select the cells with the date that I want to, the date column, right? Remember, I can hold my control key to select other column that I want to change. So after doing this, I can either go to home tab, then to the number format here, number ribbon to do what I want to do, or I can just right click after selecting. Then after selecting, I will go to number format. You look for number format from the right clicking. I can find number format. Let me try it again. Okay, you select then select again, then right click. You find number format. Okay, sorry, you find format cell. That's what I'm looking for. Why can't I find it? Okay, see it here. It's just my eyes. You find format cell. Okay, now in the format cell, after I click it, the dialog will appear. Okay, then you can go to the number tab. This is the number tab, the alignment tab, and all of that. So we are in the number tab. Then in the number tab, you can choose date. Okay, when you choose date, you now see other options. Okay, from here you can select the desired date format. Okay, if I want, you can see a preview of how the date will look depending on the format I choose. So if I choose this format, that means it will look like this. If I choose this format, it will look like this. Okay, so after selecting the format that I want, maybe this one for instance, from the list that is available, I'll click OK. Okay, then let me, after selecting this one, then let me click OK. You can see it has been formatted for me. At least it look like a date. Okay, then another way you can create a custom date format is to, let me right click again, go back to the look for the format cell. Okay, then I'll go to custom. You can use, maybe customize how you want your your date to look like. So in this case, I will want it to be like, in the situation whereby when you are writing date, maybe for the month, instead of 5, maybe May is 5, you write 05. So when you use double M, that's the format you want it to be. You don't want to just see 5 or 1 or 2 or 3, depending on what the date is. You want to see 05, especially when the number is below 10. Understand? So then for the year, you want to see the complete year. So you have to, like we are in 2025, you want to see 2025, or if you just want to see 25 to represent that, okay, it's 2025, you will delete and just use YY. But if you want to see the complete format, you will select the up to 4 Ys to show us the complete 2025. Then, for instance, I'm just giving the date here is not formatted to show 2025, or the numbers that were original that comes with this data doesn't represent 2025. I'm just giving you an instance. So if I now click OK, you can see it has been formatted that way. Understand? It has been formatted that way, how I want it to be. Another way, let me use this particular day to show you another way using if you go to home tab, then you go to this number ribbon, then you can decide if you want a long date or short date. Understand? Long date or short date. So you can see this date, though this is a date, but I don't want it to look this way. I want it, maybe since I want it to be look like 27 March 2026, 26, I can use the long date format. It show me Wednesday, July 27, 2026, or I can decide to use the short date format, and you can see it has been formatted in the way. So like this give you the opportunity to be able to transform your date the way you want it to look like. Okay, so this gives you complete control over how your dates are displayed. Okay, so I've been able to show you different way you can change the date format in a situation whereby you import a data, and just like we come to the date column and it doesn't look like a date at all. You can see how you can be able to transform the date. Then another thing we can discuss is trimming. Okay, how you can trim white space. Okay, how you can trim white space. For instance, if you look at this address column, you can see there are spaces, unnecessary double spaces that are here. So extra spaces in your text can also cause problem. Okay, let's say you have a list of names with extra spaces at the beginning or at the end, okay, or at the middle. Okay, this can affect sorting and filtering. okay, because those space are being counted as a character. Okay, they are being counted as a character. So we will use the trim function. There is a function available in Excel that you can actually use to solve this headache, this issue for you. Okay, so we can use the trim function to remove these extra spaces. Okay, the trim function removes leading and trailing spaces as well as extra spaces between words, leaving only single spaces for you. Okay, so now let's apply this to a column of data. So I'll use this column for instance, okay, because I can see you can see white spaces that are available on that column. Okay, so now I want to trim this particular column. So what I will do is to select the first data, or since I will let me just insert another, let me insert another column. Okay, so that it's just like what we did in the other one when we use the proper and the uppercase. At the end, you will need to copy it, then delete the unwanted column. So this is where I want to. Then I will now type address again, address, just like it is, then press enter. Now I want to trim this data here, right? So I'll start with equal to, because trim is a function, right? So I'll use tab to select. Remember when I say when you start typing, Excel will suggest, so many other functions as you type. So you can be able to use tab to select the first one, if actually that is the one you needed. Now the text I want to trim is in the column C. Okay, so in the column second row of the column C. So I'll select it. Okay, then I'll close the bracket, or you can click enter. Excel will automatically close it for you. Okay, now you can see these white spaces, empty spaces between here has been cleaned. Now we can use the fill handle, okay, the autofill to fill it up for me. Now I have the data, a clean data here now. So what I'll need to do is to select the column again, copy, then select where we want to paste, right click, go to paste options and click paste value, okay, so that it will retain a function. Remember, if I click into this one, you can see what I'm seeing is the function, not the value inside. But if I click on this one, I'm seeing the value inside. So we want to see the value, not the function. Understand? So that if you are visualizing the data, it will not cause any confusion. Understand for yourself. So now I will not select the column I want to. This column is no longer necessary. Okay, so I will now double click and now delete. Okay, that's how you can be able to use trim to trim your data where you have white spaces or trailing spaces, or that could be a headache or trouble for you while performing data analysis. So this overrides the original. Once I use the trim, it overrides the original text with the trim versions. Okay, so I've deleted the helper column that I don't need anymore. Okay, this has cleaned up. You can see I have a cleaned text data, and that makes my data to be consistent. Okay, then another thing I want to um, um, show you is how you can use flash fill. Flash fill. Okay. Okay, so flash fill is another fantastic tool that I want us to discuss for data cleaning. Flash fill is fantastic for when you want to quickly clean and transform data that follows a pattern. Understand? So it's like Excel's way of saying, "Oh, okay, I see what you are doing, and let me help." Understand? It's like a way of Excel trying to offer a help, to quicken your tasks or the tasks you want to perform. So it can split or combine data based on patterns. Okay, so let's go to Excel and see how we can be able to do that. Okay, so these are just a little data that I created by myself, and let's say there are two things that we can do with this flash fill. You will see, for instance, these are my customers' names, and probably their email it's not available. So I would like to add their email, understand, um, on the data. So let's say, normally it's a Gmail account, and I want to use, for instance, you say, maybe because their name is, this one is John Doe, this one is Mike Deem, and this one is John Kill. Okay, so let's say it's John Doe at gmail.com, Mike Deem at gmail.com, and Ejah Kings at gmail.com. So let me start by entering the first user, John Doe at gmail.com. Okay, and I press enter. Let me size the screen. Okay, so okay, even that, give me a moment. Yes. Okay, so since I've entered this, and if I click enter, and the second line I want to start with my game at gmail.com. Okay, let me maintain the, I'm coming. Okay, um all right. So if I want to say maybe this one, Mike Dean at gmail.com, or let me not use this email to explain this. Maybe later when I've converted this to a small letter case, we can do this. But let me for now use the method I wanted to use before. Okay, all right. Give me a moment. Okay, let's say I want to separate these names for now. I want to separate the full name to a first name and the last name. Okay, let's try that first before I'll go to the email. So I want to create a column where I'll use for the first name, and the column where I want to use for the last name. And let's just go with the first name for now. So if I right click and I select insert, it will insert a new column for me. And this column, let's say I just want to get the, maybe the full name, understand? So, or the first name I mean to say. And if I say first name, sorry, I missed something. First name, okay, enter. And if I say now, I say John is the first name, right? Then here, if I start typing Mike, say enter. Wait, and angels. This is not, I don't know. It's supposed to, before I go to flash fill where you need to flash it, Excel is supposed to be suggesting for me why it's supposed to be, but let's use the flash fill on the on the label. Okay, so I have a column with my full name, and I want to um give it maybe a first name like I just mentioned. Okay, so as I type John here as the first name here and click enter to enter the next row, then if I start typing the second name, it's supposed to flash fill automatic for me, and maybe it's network that is actually delaying this. But another thing you can also do is you can go to the data menu and click flash fill. Okay, let's go to the, let me select this first. So let's go to the data menu, and let me click flash fill and see. You see, as I click flash fill, it automatically fill the thing up with me with the first names. But another way this does is just like I was typing, after I've typed the first name, while typing the second name, it's supposed to fill up for me. Understand? Once I click tab or enter, it will fill up. But I don't know why the thing was not working until I have to go to the data tab. I just wanted to show you the two ways you can do that. Let's say we still have other names. After you have entered the first, Excel understand, okay, we understand the pattern. After I enter John and I enter Mike, then in the third one, Excel understand, okay, I'm actually trying to take the first name, understand, of these the full names. Okay, so the same thing is what I wanted to do with the email, and it was not working. I thought maybe, I don't know, I thought it was because of the case of the letters, but I think it's either network or maybe it's not actually functional like the way I want. But let's see if it will work now. So let's say if I type John john@gmail.com. Okay, press enter. That's another way you can use flash fill. Okay, all right. So here if I say, let me see if it works. If it doesn't work, then we'll use flash fill as well. Let's say Mike. You see, it's supposed to complete it for me. Okay, it's supposed to complete it for me. But if it's not working, that's why you have the tool available for you on the flash fill. It's available for you on the data tab where you can use flash fill to fill it up for you. Understand? But usually this is how it works. Excel understood without going to the flash fill. Once you type the second one, it will fill up. And if you click tab or enter, Excel will fill it up completely for you. This is how you can use, for instance, let's say, excuse me. Okay. So let's say let's see what we have here. Okay, let me see how it will work with this data. So let's assume, let me add a column here and see if it works. And okay, so let's say over here I type Allen, enter, and I type Allen again. You can see Excel filled it up for me. Understand? And if I say Allen again, it will fill. This is what I'm trying to say. Then and there is another way, or if I say even if I type the full name, but just like I'm typing just the first name, Excel keep on suggesting and filling it up for me. Understand? Then if I use the flash fill, for instance, um, the flash fill that we have, sorry, control Y. Okay, if I use the flash fill button here, Excel will automatically, so I don't need to be typing these informations one after the other. I just wanted to use this data where we have um, more data available. So maybe you have up to 500 rows or up to 1000 rows, and you cannot be typing this. So here I just wanted to get, you see, Excel even get the first automatically, gave me the first cost from there. Thinking maybe, for instance, if this was supposed to be maybe full name, I can now edit. Understand? Maybe the first name. Okay, I can now do that. Understand? Maybe rename it and give it first name. Then if I need to get the last name, I can as well do that again. Create another column here and give it a last name. But let's see how we can do that with text to column. Text to column is another tool. Let me go quickly go. Let me undo them before so that okay. So text to column is another way we can be able to split our columns. Understand? So the text to columns is a feature. Okay, this is a feature in Excel. That is another great way to split data, just like we use the flash fill to split um, your full name into first and the last name. You can use, and then another thing you can do, another way you can do that is to use text to columns. Okay, it's a feature that is very great in splitting data and is especially useful when you have data that are separated by delimiters. Okay, delimiters are like where you see you type first name, you put comma, then last name. So this comma are is a delimiter that separated the data. Okay, or after you type first name, you give space. Then before you type last name, those spaces are the delimiters that separate. Or it could be a tab. Understand? Or it could be a tab. Maybe two different information, you want to split them. Okay, maybe information data that is being separated by a tab. Okay, that tab or comma or space are known as delimiters that separated these data. Okay, so it is a common issue with imported data. Understand? This is a common issue with imported data. So when you import a data maybe from a survey and the customer, the people that fill up the survey enter their full name. Meanwhile, maybe you want to have the first name separate from the last name or something like that. Or you okay, let me just show you what. Let's go to let's demonstrate this. So to do this, I'll go to the let me go to this column. So I'll go to the column I want to split. For instance, I want to split this particular column now. Okay, so I will go to the data tab I'm already in the data tab. Then on the data tab, you look for text to columns. Understand? On the data tab, you look for text to column. You can find it here on the data tools. Okay. So if I click on this text to column, a wizard will pop up. Okay, you can see this is column wizard. It will pop up as you can see here. So I will choose delimiter. I can see this delimiter. This is the one I want to use. You can see the data, the preview of the data here. So I will choose delimited as the type, as the file type, okay, that best describe my data because my data is separated by space, okay. So I will click next. When I click next, then I will choose the delimiter that separates my data. In this case, it is space. Okay, as you can see, it is space from here. After James, what you see is space before Murray. Understand? So that is what I actually separate my data. So in my own case, I will choose space. Then you can see the preview here now. It has separated the first name and the last name for me. That is the preview from here. Understand? So as you can see it now, how the data will be splitted once I finish up with what I'm doing. So here you can choose the data type for each column and you click next. Okay, so here you can choose the data type. This is a text data. Okay, it is a text data. So you can as well leave it as general. But on this case, I would like to select the text because this is a text data, right? So after selecting the text data, okay, because this is very, very important. It is very important that you select the type of data it is because it ensures that numbers are treated as numbers in the situation whereby if the data is in numbers, then you have to let Excel know, okay, this is number, so that Excel will treat it as a number, and if it is date, Excel will treat it as a date. So in this case, I will either leave it in the general or I will select text. So I will select text after all because this is actually a text. So the customer, if I now say finish, you can see the customer, let me say, okay, all right. You can see now the customer name has been splitted into separate columns. So I now have the first name here and I now have the last name here. So what I can now do is to edit. Maybe I'll call this one first name and maybe here I can now say last name. Okay, so you can see how I was able to split this data for me so that I can now work. Okay, if I want to just get the first name, I can get the first name. If I want to just get the last name, I can get the last name. So this is very useful for cleaning up imported data that is not in the format you need. You see, this is the format that I need. I want to perform an analysis, but this is the format that I need the data to be when it has to do with the customer names. Understand? So I don't want just want to see their full names or in one column. I want to have the first name and the the last name separated. Okay. So if you I also want to maybe I have a data that the first name and the last name are just like it is here, and I want to work with full name. There is a function that you can use to do that as well, known as what is it called, concatenate. You can also use flash fill to do that. Okay, if I create a new column here and I call it full name and I start typing, let's see if that works. The flash fill that we just discussed. So if I click right click and enter, and maybe let me call this, or let me leave it for now and let me just start typing. So if I say Alan, sorry, Pearl, I say enter. So if I start typing SLC, SL keep on, the flash field that I just, but let's just use the button that is bigger. If you go to the tab, um, then you use flash field. Let's go to the tab, then flash field. Once I do this, Excel will fill it up for me. It has joined. You can use this flash field to either separate a column or to join two columns together. You can see I've just done that. So I can now name Excel is knew that he got this information from the first name and the last name, and it just renamed the column for me. So I can now decide to maybe name it maybe full name. Understand? Instead of just first name and last name, I can now call it full name. Okay. So now it is in the format that I want, right? So I can now decide to if I want to delete the other two these two columns for me because maybe I don't need them anymore. This is the format that I want it. I imported the data that has first name and last name, but I just need to see the full name. Understand? I can after doing this, what I will now do is to select this and press your control to select the two, then right click and delete. Then I have the data in this format. So it depends on the format that you want. It depends on the format that you want um, your data to be. Okay, so this is a very quick way. It is a very helpful way for you to work faster with your um, data instead of typing them one after the other. Flash fill is very useful, okay, for cleaning up imported data that is not in the format you need them. Okay, so you can also, like I thought about the text to column, you can also use flash fill. You can also use text to column to separate, understand, to a column into two. That's what that text to column that we just discussed before. I have to use flash fill again to explain this concept. So that's if you want to quickly just separate this code, you can use text to column and it will spread the two names, the full name into first and the last name for you. Understand? Then you can now perform a little editing whereby you just need to rename the column and that's all. Okay. So that brings us to the end of our session for today on data cleaning in Excel. Okay, we have covered a wide range of techniques from basic spell checking to more advanced methods for transforming text and dates. Okay, and removing duplicates. We talked about the method one and method two that you can use to remove duplicates, and also how you can be able to spread your data. This is what we just discussed. Spreading your data, you can use text to column or you can use flash fill to spread your data. Remember, data cleaning is an essential step in any data analysis project. Okay, so by mastering these techniques, you will ensure that your data is accurate, consistent, and ready for analysis. Okay, just you can see this data, they are still dirty. Understand? There are still data cleaning that you may need to perform. Like this very data, you can see there are still space here. And you remember how I told you how you can be able to remove this space using the trim function. We have taught that earlier. So don't underestimate the importance of cleaning your data. Okay, don't underestimate the importance of clean data. Clean data will make you to will help you to make an informed decision. Okay, so it's the foundation of reliable insight and sound decision making. Okay, if your data is dirty, your decision will not be sound. Okay, so the more you practice these skills, the more efficient and effective you will become at cleaning your data. Okay, so now you can go forth and make your data clean. Um, After this class, you are going to do have some practice where you can practice with this very data I have. Then in that hands-on practice, you can actually clean this data to look better. And this training, we have not been able to do much of the cleaning. But in this practical that I'm going to share to you, you can be able to do all of everything that we taught. You can be able to clean this very data that I'm using to teach. You clean it, remove the duplicates that we found on the data, the duplicate, the spaces, as you can see here, the empty rows and all of that. So thank you for joining. I don't know if you have any question, you can ask me.
There's no question to ask, my brother.
So, you have any question?
You know, you say?
Repeat yourself. I didn't hear you.
I said there's no question to ask,
Okay.
you know how we roll. So I'm waiting for the hands on practice and the video.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay. But
Even when you
everything that I just taught you is clear to you, at least by the time you now rewatch the video.
mm,
and the practice, because there is this saying that practice makes permanent. The more you practice, the
yes.
more permanent it becomes. Okay, and there is another saying that practice makes perfect, right? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so okay, um, no problem. If you also have questions during your practice and all that, you can also always ask me. Um, need any assistance. So,
Oh, you don't need to tell me that. Sharp,
all
sharp.
right, all right. So thank you
All
for
right.
joining today's lesson. Um,
You're welcome and thanks for the teachings.
all right. Okay. So the video will be available to you later today.
Okay, no problem. Let me go back to the formation. Oh, yeah, the practice I'm doing with one template like that. But the ones, the level I've not got, I know we will still reach there. Is how to create charts.
Yeah,
No,
of course. That's that will
maybe.
get there. That's data visualization. This we'll get
Yes,
there.
we will still reach there.
We'll
Yes.
still get there. You have to clean your data first before you start visualizing the data. So this is why
Yeah.
data cleaning is important. If you don't have this data clean, if you get to that chart where you need to create charts and all of that, you have a
Mm,
messy, in fact, you'll be misled. Okay, so you have to have a clean data. Visualization is all about creating insights, trying to answer a question using visual. There is a word that say that a visual, a photo or a visual, that's the way they say it, make 1,000. I don't know how they put that. Just like saying that with visual, you can, imagine someone trying to go through this data one after the other, trying to get an insight. But when you visualize it, it answers the questions, okay, immediately,
yes.
give more insight. So, but you have to have a clean data before you can
Mm,
start that. So that's why all these steps, data analytics involves stages.
yes.
Okay, there are stages. You ask questions, you prepare data, you process data, you analyze data, you share data, and all of that to make until it's all about at the end an action will be taken. Okay, from the analysis,
Mm.
what action could be taken? What are the
Hey,
next
there's
steps?
something.
Okay,
There's something that I have been trying to do. This F4, that thing you said about for
okay,
crossing F4 so that
okay,
it will become absolute.
okay.
I've tried it. Oh, it always tells me error. I even use Shift F4 after marking it. I've used also Control F4, but it's not
You don't
showing
have to
like.
use shift or go through. You just have to select. Let me quickly show you from this data. Let me
Mm.
say, um, okay, where can I write a function now? Let me say I want to,
Oh.
or let me just go to this so that I can quickly. Let's say these are numbers and um, let's say let me just put numbers. Let me say 20, 50, and 100.
Mm.
And here, okay, I want to calculate this. So I will say, if I want to say, for instance, I want to say sum or what other function can I use? Okay, let me just use sum. It's all about it's all about the what you just want to understand here is the absolute and the uh, absolute reference. So if I select this data now, okay, just like this, you don't even have to, and this you don't even have to select it, except if you have in a situation whereby I have to drag from here to here. Understand? So
Mm.
you have to select it so that you use one click of the F4 to do it. You can see just
Mm.
one click. So I don't know. Then if I let me say escape, let me try again.
Okay, okay. Now I've seen the problem. I don't put some. If I don't put some. I only say equals to. Then I put like four B4 plus
Okay,
C4.
just
Then
like let
I
me
will
see, just like this plus
plus
this, and maybe you will
this.
now
Yes,
press S4. It will
it
work.
will not go. Still work, but it did
Uh,
not. I mean, it did not contain all of them.
it's
You
not
know,
allowed.
see
This
the
is
other
a
one.
formula, so it's still correct. The main thing is if you don't start with an equal to. This is a formula.
Okay.
Okay. Then when you start with whether sum, mean, if that one is function, a pre-built formula in Excel. Okay.
Okay.
So it's not about whether you just did the sum and this thing, what I just put here now, let's say F2 plus, let me say um F2 plus
F4.
this, then plus this it's the same thing as sum here to here.
Yes.
It's just that using sum it makes the work easier than typing plus this plus. What if you have thousands of rows? Are you going to be
Yes.
typing? So this is a formula. Then sum, as in those sums and the if and the average, mean, whether it's statistical formula or
No max mandatory.
mathematical, they are pre-built formulas. Just like if you go to the formula tab, you can see them. Okay, depending on if it's some, if it's financial formula, logical. This is where you can find if, state if and the ifs and other, some ifs and other. They are
Logical form.
I mean if and false and all of that. These are logical formula. So if it is for that test, like clean, if you want to clean a test, if you want to trim a test, this is where you can find their formula. So it depends. It's a pre-built formula. So it's not about whether you use some or you don't use some. Even just like this one, if I
Okay.
click F4, it will that, but the thing that whichever one you want to make an absolute, you want to make absolute, you have to make sure that you place the mouse in front of it. So for instance, if it is
Okay.
this one, this
Okay.
particular column that I want to be
Yes.
20, that's F2 that I want to make absolute. I will make sure that I place my mouse mouse in front of it and I press F4. It will make both of them absolute. But if I want to just make the column absolute, but not the rows, sorry,
Mm.
let me undo. Um, okay. So if I want to make the just the column absolute and
Mm.
not the row, you have to bring the mouse at the back of the column F. That's F representing the
Okay.
column. Then you press your F4. Okay. Oh, this even make both of them. Um,
Both of them.
you have to, okay. What you have to do is if you press F4, you press F4 again. Okay, until it gives you the one you want.
Okay.
You press it again. So you have to press it and press it until it gives you the one you want.
What?
This is
Right.
I've now locked the column but not the row. So it's not just about pressing S4. If I keep on pressing it, it will keep you know giving me what
Changing.
I want, changing until you get the one you want. Whether you want to lock the
Okay.
column or just the
Okay.
row or mix, or if I want a mix reference. Okay. So if
Right.
it is not, maybe I don't know why it's throwing an error, but you should try again. See, maybe
Yeah.
remember what I thought about debugging. See, maybe if you made a mistake on the function on the
Let me just start it now, because
uh,
let me do it now.
um,
Let me do it now.
do it. Maybe you made a mistake on the function. If you made a mistake, you can throw an error. Maybe you wanted to type sum and you typed
Yeah.
maybe something else. It will throw an error.
Yeah.
Uh, or the data is not clean, just like we are talking about now. Maybe the data is not clean and it will throw an error, all of that. So that is it. So let me stop recording them. You can always ask your question.
Mm.